Question 1. Which core Australian value means that all Australians are equal under the law, regardless of their background or personal characteristics? A. Fair go. B. Equality. C. D. Compassion. Answers is B. Equality. Equality is a fundamental Australian value, ensuring that everyone is treated fairly and has the same rights and under the law, regardless of their gender, race, religion, or any other attribute. Question 2. When did Australia become a federation of states, establishing the Commonwealth of Australia? A. 1 January 1901, B. 26 January 1788, C. 25 April 1915, D. 1 January 1950. Answers is A. 1 January 1901. Australia became a federation of its six on 1 January 1901, uniting them into the Commonwealth of Australia under a single constitution. This marked a significant milestone in the nation's history. Question 3. What does the large star on the Australian national flag represent? A. The Southern Cross constellation, B. The 6 states, and C. The 7 continents of the world, D. A symbol of peace and prosperity. Answers is B. The 6 states and The large star on the Australian national flag is known as the Commonwealth Star. 6 points represent the original 6 states, and the 7th point represents the combined of Australia. Question 4. Which significant group of people are the traditional owners of the land we now call Australia? A. Early European settlers, B. Indigenous Australians, C. First Fleet convicts, D. Chinese gold miners. Answers is B. Indigenous Australians. Indigenous Australians, comprising Aboriginal peoples and Strait Islander peoples, are the traditional owners and custodians of the land and waters of Australia, with a rich history spanning over 65 years. Question 5. Who has the responsibility to vote in federal and elections if they are eligible and enrolled? A. Only politicians, B. Only people over 60, C. All Australian citizens, D. Only property owners. Answers is C. All Australian citizens. Voting in federal and local government elections is a civic duty and responsibility for all eligible and enrolled Australian citizens aged 18 years and over. It is compulsory. Question 6. What is the capital city of Australia? A. Sydney, B. Melbourne, C. Canberra, D. Brisbane. Answers is C. Canberra. Canberra is the capital city of Australia. It is in the Australian Capital Territory Act and is home to the Australian Parliament House and many national institutions. Question 7. What significant national day commemorates Australians and New Zealanders who served and died in all wars, conflicts and peacekeeping operations? A. Australia Day, B. Anzac Day, C. Remembrance Day, D. Federation Day. Answers is B. Anzac Day. Anzac Day is on 25 April each year to honour all Australians and New Zealanders who have served and died in wars, conflicts and peacekeeping operations, particularly remembering the landings at Gallipoli in 1915. Question 8. What is one of the of an Australian citizen concerning the law? A. To always agree with government decisions, B. To obey the laws of Australia, C. To only obey laws they personally agree with, D. To serve in the military if called upon. Answers is B. To obey the laws of Australia. A fundamental responsibility of all Australian citizens, and indeed all residents, is to obey the laws of Australia. This underpins the rule of law, a key Australian value. Question 9. Which value describes Australians' belief in giving everyone a chance to succeed, regardless of their background? A. Individualism, B. Fair go, C. Conservatism, D. Elitism. Answers is B. Fair go. The fair go is a core Australian value that the belief in equal opportunity for everyone to succeed, regardless of their origin, and supports those who are struggling. Question 10. Which significant historical event involved the arrival of the First Fleet in Sydney Cove in 1788? A. The Gold Rush, B. The Federation of Australia, C. The start of European settlement, D. The first Anzac Day commemoration. Answers is C. The start of European settlement. The arrival of the First Fleet in January 1788, led by Captain Arthur Phillip, marked the beginning of European settlement in Australia and the establishment of the penal colony of New South Wales. Question 11. How many levels of government are there in Australia? A 2, B 3, C 4, D 1. Answers is B 3. Australia has 3 levels of government: federal, Commonwealth, state and territory, and local. Each level has distinct and powers. Question 12. Alongside Aboriginal peoples, which other group forms the Indigenous Australians? A. Maori people, B. Papua New Guineans, C. Strait Islander peoples, D. Pacific Islanders. Answers is C. Strait Islander peoples. Indigenous Australians comprise 2 distinct cultural groups: Aboriginal peoples, who are the traditional owners of mainland Australia and Tasmania, and Strait Islander peoples, who are the traditional owners of the Strait Islands. Question 13. Which 2 native animals appear on the Australian coat of arms? A. Kangaroo and emu, B. Koala and wombat, C. Platypus and echidna, D. Dingo and crocodile. Answers is A. Kangaroo and emu. The Australian coat of arms features a kangaroo and an emu, supporting the Commonwealth Shield. These animals are native to Australia and were chosen partly because they are unable to walk backward, symbolising progress. Question 14. Under Australian law, what does freedom of speech generally allow citizens to do? A. Say anything they want without consequence. B. Express their opinions publicly, provided it does not incite hatred or violence. C. Criticise the government in any way, even if it is false. D. Avoid paying taxes if they disagree with how funds are used. Answers is B. Express their opinions publicly, provided it does not incite hatred or violence. Freedom of speech is a fundamental democratic freedom in Australia, allowing citizens to express their views, but it is not absolute. It does not permit speech that incites violence, hatred, or breaks other laws such as defamation. Question 15. How many states and mainland does Australia have? A. 7 states and 2, B. 6 states and 2 mainland, C. 8 states and 1 territory, D. 5 states and 3. Answers is B. 6 states and 2 mainland. Australia is made up of 6 states: New South Wales, Victoria, Queensland, South Australia, Western Australia, Tasmania, and 2 mainland: Northern Territory and Australian Capital Territory. Question 16. What date is Australia Day celebrated, commemorating the arrival of the First Fleet in 1788? A. 1 January, B. 25 April, C. 26 January, D. 11 November. Answers is C. 26 January. Australia Day is celebrated on 26 January each year. It marks the anniversary of the 1788 arrival of the first fleet of British ships at Port Jackson, New South Wales, and the raising of the British flag at Sydney Cove. Question 17. What is the Australian value that describes loyalty, support, and friendship between people? A. Independence, B. Self-reliance, C. D. Ambition. Answers is C. Is A. Cherished Australian value, referring to loyalty, camaraderie, and mutual support among friends and even strangers. It A. Readiness to help others in times of need. Question 18. What major historical event in the significantly boosted Australia's population and economic growth? A. The Great Depression, B. The Gold Rushes, C. World War I, D. The establishment of the First Fleet. Answers is B. The Gold Rushes. The gold rushes, particularly in Victoria and New South Wales led to a massive influx of migrants from around the world, dramatically increasing Australia's population and contributing to its economic development and multicultural character. Question 19. What type of political system does Australia have? A totalitarian dictatorship, B. A direct democracy, C. A parliamentary democracy and constitutional monarchy, D. A pure republic. Answers is C. A parliamentary democracy and constitutional monarchy. Australia has a system of parliamentary democracy where citizens elect representatives to make decisions on their behalf, and is also a constitutional monarchy, with the King of Australia as its head of state, represented by the... Question 20. Which of the following is a responsibility of an Australian citizen regarding court? A. To provide legal advice to friends. B. To attend court as a spectator. C. To serve on a jury if called upon. D. To appeal all court decisions. Answers is C. To serve on a jury if called upon. Serving on a jury if called upon is a civic duty for eligible Australian citizens. It is a vital part of the justice system, ensuring fair trials. Question 21. What is the collective term for the spiritual beliefs and creation stories of Indigenous Australians? A. The lore. B. The dreaming or dreamtime. C. The history. Answers is B. The dreaming or dreamtime. The dreaming, often referred to as dreamtime, is the term used to describe the complex spiritual beliefs, creation stories, and ancient traditions that form the foundation of Indigenous Australian cultures and connection to land. Question 22. What is Australia's national floral emblem? A. The bee, the golden wattle. C. The desert pea. D. The kangaroo paw. Answers is B. The golden wattle. The golden wattle acacia is Australia's national floral emblem. It is a symbol of unity and resilience, with its green foliage and bright golden flowers reflecting the national colours. Question 23. Which Australian value encourages treating others with consideration and understanding, especially those from different cultures or backgrounds? A. Independence. B. Competitiveness. C. Respect for the freedom and dignity of the individual. D. Strict adherence to tradition. Answers is C. Respect for the freedom and dignity of the individual. Respect for the freedom and dignity of the individual is a core Australian value that includes treating others with consideration, embracing diversity, and upholding their rights to hold their own beliefs and opinions, as long as they don't harm others. Question 24. When did women in all Australian states gain the right to vote in federal elections? A. 1894. B. 1902. C. 1921. D. 1962. Answers is B. 1902. The Commonwealth Franchise Act 1902 granted women in all Australian states the right to vote and stand for election in federal elections, making Australia one of the first in the world to do so. However, Aboriginal men and women were not given the universal right to vote in federal elections until 1962,